Hi everyone, hope you're doing well from wherever you're watching this channel, depending on your time zone. Now, yesterday, there was a clean team of 7 super MPs who came together to launch a movement fight for Kenyans' rights. And these members of parliament consist of Gathoni Wamuchomba, Babu Owino, Caleb Hamisi, Catherine Nguna, Amos Mwango, Catherine Omanyo, and Mark Mwenje. You look at them, these are young members of parliament. And definitely you'll find people like Babu Owino, Gathoni Wamuchomba, there have been so much defiance to most of the policies that have been pushed by the Kenya Kwanza administration. And they are coming up with a movement that is going to play the opposition role to defend the public at the moment, simply because the opposition is no longer that much vibrant. So they have discovered there is a vacuum and they're trying to fill that vacuum. There are serious issues they're raising, and I want to listen to the Busia woman rep, Catherine Omanyo. He's raising serious issues about what Ruto was standing for and what he's doing as of now. Right away from Dynasty, you want to become one, and by the way, he's one of them. You come to the parasites in this country, you come to agriculture, among other many issues. These are issues of serious concern to do with Kenyans that no one has been talking about, that no one has been pushing for, but the team is ready to take on the bull by its horns.
Hey, I used to hear Ruto say he must finish the dynasty. Now he has become himself a dynasty. If I go back to his statement, even him, because he is a dynasty, he will be finished. You cannot be saying these dynasties must be finished and yet you are admiring to be one. Everything that he has done or promised, it's just like a short-lived dinner party anecdote. Immediately you are done with it, you go sleep, wake up to your problems. Kenyans are suffering. Everything that Ruto is doing, selling our properties, treating Kenyan properties like his personal property, selling a national bank, he's all over Mombasa Port, Kenya Seed, everything that he's been selling. My question is, how much is he saving for the future generation? We demand that 10% of every sale he has done, 10%, and every profit, the 10% must be saved for future generation. Otherwise, the way he's running this nation, he's running like the way he does the sky team. You know, now he's leading the sky team, flying blue. We do not want anything to do with his promises anymore. Kenyans must take charge of their lives starting today and do what will make their lives better. Because if you come to farmers, even the fertilizer that is being sold today is poison to the ground, poison to the products, cannot make the farmers get the yields they used to get to. I used to learn agriculture, and it was our backbone, I think something like that, the backbone of our nation. Now, if you go to the backbone of the nation and interfere with it, how do you expect to run a nation that is full of graves? Is he planning to bury people? Because now if we will not have enough food, where will we run to? If we cannot produce even our own, where do we run to? Because a proper leader foresees some things and has a plan to back to. What has he done since he had that now the fertilizer that was supplied was fake? Who supplied the fertilizer? Who won the tender? Why don't we see these people to explain to us why this fertilizer is chalk? Some of this fertilizer is chalk, it's not even stones. And some fake poo. We don't know where they are getting the poo from. We want these people who supplied this fake fertilizer already behind bars. Because we cannot be, every day is just something going wrong in Ruto's offices. So whoever is sitting wherever they are sitting, those offices, agriculture department, people dealing with health, everything is off. We need changes, and changes are here. We are going to steer ahead the changes that Kenyans want.
Thank you very much.
Now we are continuing this panel discussion, but just a quick request for those who are watching and you have not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing. To our returning subscribers, Master, thank you so much. And again, to all our viewers, please give this video a thumbs up. Thank you so much, and back to this discussion. Now, leaders normally emerge, and you emerge when you find a problem to solve. So where there is a vacuum, you fill the vacuum. These leaders are emerging because there is a vacuum to fill. So they're taking over that position to fill that vacuum. If they play well, the team is going to grow, more are going to come in, and their vibrancy will be seen. Kenyans are going to put their trust and hope on them as long as they do not become compromised. Just like someone like Okiya Omtata. Many Kenyans have respect for Okiya Omtata because of the role he has always played single-handedly. So for Babu Owino and the entire team, if they stand strong, then they will gain the confidence of Kenyans. There is huge problem here that no one has been coming out that much strong to talk about, simply because Raila is focusing on other things. AU. Therefore, it is time for young leaders to emerge. And these 7 are seeing an opportunity to seize. You talk about the issue of dynasty versus hustler. That is the narrative that was built by William Samoei Ruto, which was a kind of incitement against the rich and the poor. Today, Honorable Omanya is telling us that Ruto has become one of the dynasty that he was against. It is true. Look at him. Does he even understand that we have people who sleep hungry? At least for Uhuru Kenyatta, to some extent, he knew people are sleeping hungry. That's why there was some element of subsidy from fuel, to unga and other things. But when Ruto came to power, he removed the subsidy from fuel. Uhuru alikuwa analipa 30 shillings per liter. Unga subsidy was removed. Uhuru knew that we have a lot of people who are not employed. He brought in kazi kwa vijana and kazi mtaani. He was just creating a way whereby youth can earn something so that they can continue to have catered for some basic needs. Haikuwa kwamba anatengeneza kazi, lakini ilikuwa njia ya kufikia vijana kwa kitu kidogo wajikimu kimaisha. But the man who was rebuking Dynasty, he came and removed kazi kwa vijana that was focusing on helping the people he referred to as hustlers. So if there is any dynasty in this country, William Ruto is one of them. You talk about our wealth. Our wealth is in our parastatals and other things. Look at the policies that Ruto is coming up with. He was trying to remove the power from National Assembly when it comes to making a decision on which parastatals to be sold. So that it is only the cabinet that has power to sell parastatals in this country. But it failed. Why? Because his target was just to sell those properties so that there is no one who is questioning in terms of the price. Some properties, you compromise the price. with a reason or a plan to take over those properties. So it is now in the hands of private sector from public, but at a very cheap price. There are living examples. You talk about Webuye pan paper. It was sold at a throw price. So the issue they're raising out, the properties belongs to Kenyans. When you are selling, how much are you saving for the future generation? He has to answer that question. Kampuni kama Mias Sugar Company, you talk about Bamburi Cement and other things. They were already in the list of items to be sold. We are being told KICC is supposed to go, and many other things. Reason, they want to take over these properties at a very cheap price. They are coming out clear that they don't want anything to do with Ruto's promises. Why? Because we have learned that Ruto's promises was simply hot air. When he promised that he will create 1 million jobs every year, tell me, 1.5 years in office, has Ruto even created 100,000 jobs, leave alone 1 million? Just 100,000 jobs. Instead, what we are seeing, Ruto has destroyed more than 100,000 jobs in 1.5 years in office. So he's literally doing the opposite. We can't trust in his promises. We can't waste time thinking about his promises. So we don't need anything to do with his promises. That is the message. So if we don't want anything to do with your promises, it means we don't want you. The fact is that Ruto must go. Because we no longer, we no longer believe in his promises. He cannot become responsible for his promises. You talk about poison fertilizer. They are talking about agriculture, the backbone of every nation. Because food security is very key and so much important to every nation. It can even enslave you. You remember the story of Israelites and the Egypt, whereby Egypt they had enough food. That is biblical, a true story. So food security is important to every nation. But what are they doing? They are playing with our lives. Compromise fertilizer issued by government with the government logo, approved by KEBS, and the fertilizer finds its way into our farms. When you put your plants, standard growth, you can't harvest anything. They have a plan to start importation of food because they need money at expense of destroying our own farmers. So you kill your own. With all this, there is nothing good to expect from this administration. That is the message. So this is a team that is well prepared, and you see things are racing, they're serious. It's a team that, if they really mean what they're saying, they can really challenge this administration and put them to task so that Kenyans can be liberated in their minds and in future politics.